Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 12th and final round.
Right hand, Golovkin steps in and down he goes again. Unbelievable. Mayweather makes him pay. What a rookie mistake. A sensational left hook by De La Hoya.
It's facts. I'm the best. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't want to believe it myself, but it's the truth. I'm the best. I'm going to show you how great I am.
From Southern California, this is the Last Round Podcast.
Welcome back to another edition of the Last Round Boxing Podcast. Thank you again for joining us here at the end of the year, our last episode of 2025 here in December of 2025. So let's just jump straight back into it. This past Friday, the 19th of December, from Miami, Florida on Netflix, Anthony Joshua gets the sixth round knockout over Jake Paul, who takes the second loss of his professional career. He is now 12-2. Jake Paul was down twice in round 5 and round 6, and ultimately met his demise in the form of a loss. I mean, look, before we kind of break this down, I think we probably might have mentioned it last week when we talked to Jamel Herring, or maybe you and I talked about it, but Jake Paul, like, I know people were like, oh, he got knocked out. This guy's too big, especially casual fans who were watching, which this did reach that crowd. I think Jake Paul looked at it more as a business, and Netflix wouldn't have broadcasted it if he didn't get a name that could sell as the opponent. So Jake Paul, I think, was like, yeah, let's just get Anthony Joshua. Even though Joshua's an Olympian, heavyweight champion of the world, one of the best fighters in the world, and he has been for years. This was a business decision, right? Yeah, it was like, yeah, they actually fought, and he suffered a broken jaw, but he also had to satisfy the powers that be at Netflix, because they wanted to get paid. They wanted the business, and it also increases his image. All those replays and those clips from that fight, they were shared all over social media, not just on boxing social channels, but on, general sports, non-sports, pop culture. Am I wrong to think that was the goal for somebody like Jake Paul? Essentially, I know he wants to win, but what do you think?
No, 100%. That's been the goal the whole time, is to, gradually work your way up to a big payday against your, Gervonta Davis and AJ, or even a Canelo, whoever came first and was available, whoever Netflix would accept. I think that's been the goal the whole time, was depending on where you read it, he got paid somewhere between $80 to $19 million. So it worked. The plan the whole time worked. He went from fighting other YouTubers like Anson Gibb, or whatever the kid was called, who he fought the first time, to ex-MMA people, to, Mike Tyson, boxing legend, to a current boxer. And okay, he got his jaw broken, but pretty sure all of us listening to this, and me and you, I would get in there and fight, AJ, and let him beat me up and knock me out for $50 million. So, yeah.
Do you think Anthony Joshua, obviously he broke his jaw, so he didn't really hold back there, but because I think AJ knew that he, at least for his image, he needed a knockout or a stoppage, because if he let Jake Paul get to a decision against somebody like him, even if he still won on the scorecards, he would get criticized. Do you think AJ gave it? Because I kind of got like memories of when he fought Francis Ngannou. AJ was kind of like, you could tell he was like, I'm the boxer. Like, I'm confident. Like, this is what I have to do. That's how he looked when he fought Francis Ngannou. And it was very, very similar with this Jake Paul thing. He looked a lot more just kind of like, okay, I'm just waiting to catch you. He got caught a couple times, but he just kind of his behavior was just kind of like, okay, just I'm gonna get you eventually. I'm gonna find the spot, and he did. He did. I mean, but did he take it easy or easier from what you saw?
No, I think you're right. When you're in the boxing ring with somebody that doesn't want to get caught, it's hard, especially as a heavyweight, because you don't move as fast as a middleweight or a welterweight or something like that, where you can cut the ring off. And there were times where maybe AJ could have done a little bit more, but like you said, I think he knew deep down, like, okay, like you're running around the ring, you're not used to it, you're not a professional boxer. Sooner or later, your legs are going to get tired, and I'm going to catch you. I mean, that's exactly what happened. And I think he even said that in one of the interviews I saw after the fight, where they kind of asked him about knocking him out earlier, and he said, like, I knew I was going to catch him. So, maybe I could have gone a little bit quicker and, knocked him out. But like you said, look at Ngannou. He knocked Ngannou in the second round. Yeah. And that was just due to the fact that Ngannou came to fight. Whereas, Jake Paul didn't. Jake was pot shot, and he would run. Pot shot.
I mean, Ngannou is also, like, arguably bigger than Joshua. Like, they're huge guys. So, yeah. Like, Jake Paul is naturally smaller. So that didn't surprise me that he was just kind of like, a little bit staying away, because AJ is what, 6'6", 260 or something. Making it 6 rounds. I mean, he took that shot, man, and then and then I think Jake Paul posted a picture of him at the hospital, like, and then with his jaw, like, I mean, he knew, like, I'm telling you, it doesn't. I think we were talking about it before, but this doesn't, a loss to somebody like Jake Paul doesn't really hurt him. It doesn't, because it's like he can be like, well, I fought on Netflix. I fought on Netflix multiple times now. I'm the biggest star in boxing. Everybody wants to fight me now. And I was a so-called YouTuber, 6 years ago, and now I'm the biggest star in combat sports or boxing or something. He could say something like that. And he's like, yeah, I lost, but I lost to, an Olympian, a heavyweight champion, one of the best boxers in the world. He's like, who is, 5 inches, 6 inches taller than me and weighs like, 40, 50 pounds more than me or whatever. I mean, a loss doesn't really hurt him. Does it? No. I mean, maybe to his image, PR-wise, people are like, oh, my God, you see Jake Paul? I mean, people texting me about it. Like, oh, he got knocked out. He's over. Like to those people, like, oh, yeah, but, like, they're tuning in. When you can cross, I mean, we've seen this, right? Like, we know, like, when a fighter, regardless of who it is, now that Jake Paul has been boxing for 6 years or something like that, when a fighter can cross that threshold into getting that casual fan to tune into their fights, that's when you make ridiculous amount of money. And he already had that audience even before he got into boxing, and now he's grown it. And even boxing fans are tuning into his fights now. So I don't see any, he has his jaw broken, he's going to be out for a while, but I don't see any issues to his brand. He's going to come back probably like next summer and just be bigger than ever. Right?
Yeah. I think a lot of people actually give him credit for going 6 rounds and then getting in there and fighting someone like AJ, when AJ's got 2-time world heavyweight champion, gold medalist from the Olympics, where Jake Paul was a YouTuber that tried his hand at boxing. So you got to give him respect for that. And then also, like you said, like, he did catch him with that overhand right. And I'm sure that, him and Nikisa will show that time after time after time. And then he'll be like, okay, Jake Paul's substantially smaller than AJ, but if he hit Canelo with that shot, or if he hit Davis with that shot, it would have been lights out. Because what did he say? Nikisa said something in one of the interviews afterwards where the only reason we lost was because of the size. He said it wasn't anything to do with AJ had better skills. So you can see he was already trying. He was already trying to sell the next fight straight away, straight afterwards. Kind of like WWE, where like that fight's done. Okay, boom! It's time to sell and promote the next fight. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in there with someone like maybe Canelo, because Canelo, obviously, the talk was that he was going to fight Crawford, and if Crawford is true with his retirement, and he's not just trying to add an extra O,
I think he's
I could see him fighting him in September.
Jamel Herring even said he was like, it's a 60% chance he stays retired. It's like, could be a negotiation tactic. But yeah, I mean, Jake Paul's ultimate goal is to get Canelo in the ring. That is. And they're both similar sizes. I mean, he might be a little bit bigger mass-wise, but I bet you now that he's like, now that I fought a full heavyweight in Anthony Joshua, I can go down and wait and fight somebody like Canelo. Like, because I took the shots from this heavyweight guy, like, and he knocked me, broke my jaw. Like, how much more could I suffer against somebody who's smaller than him? Like, that's probably how he's looking at it. And honestly, like, I could see Canelo just being like, yeah, you know what, I'll do it.
And it makes sense, kind of. Say you have Tyson, right? That probably brought in a lot of subscribers in the US.
Yeah.
If he fights AJ, that might have brought a lot of subscribers in the UK.
Yeah.
And then if he fights Canelo, that's the South American portion subscribers, and makes business sense for Netflix.
Oh yeah. He's literally like becoming the cash cow, like the star. He is. Canelo's on the back nine, but Jake Paul is literally becoming the star. And he knows that. He's like, if I can stay on this level, then I become this generation's Mayweather, Pacquiao, Canelo, in terms of like the pay-per-view star, if you want to call it that. He's that guy. He is. Like Ryan Garcia is like what I'm gonna call him. When the Davis fight fell through, Ryan Garcia was talking about like, I'll fight him and stuff like that. Like, yeah, anybody would step into the ring with him because it's a payday. I mean, that's where we're at with his career. I mean, at the beginning, if somebody would have told you 6 years ago when he first, like you mentioned, he fought that other YouTuber or Anson Gibb or whoever it was. If somebody would have told you like, in 6 years he's going to fight Anthony Joshua and Anthony Joshua is going to knock him out and break his jaw, we probably would have been like, no way. Like if we had to bet money on it, we'd be like, nah, he's going to fight just like these novelty fights, these like YouTubers and stuff like that. And 6 years later, he's, we thought, he fought Tommy Fury, but it's going to be a while. If anything, if he fights like a full-fledged, highly ranked fighter. And sure enough, when he made the Davis fight, like I was like, okay, well, Davis is still a fighter, and Davis, could knock him out. Like, even though he's smaller, just because Davis is a real fighter. But it's like, he is smaller. Has he convinced you? Is Jake Paul a full-fledged fighter now?
To a certain extent. Like you said, they're all novelty fights. Like, I don't see him... I suppose maybe. Like, I could see him, with the WBA, you can buy a world title shot, and, if he decides to do it at cruiser or, light heavy once the champions retire and the belts are spread, why not? Why doesn't the WBA throw him in there? Because they want their 3%, right? And the 3% of a Jake Paul fight or the 3% of else is nowhere near the same.
Who ranked? Is it did the WBA rank him already? Were they the ones?
Yeah, top 15, yeah.
Right, top 15, yeah. I mean, like you said, think about it, like they've seen him being on the Netflix platform, these big platforms, with the reported, millions and millions of dollars in purses. These sanctioning bodies are just like, hey man, like we gotta we got to hop on this train. He's the guy now. He's becoming the guy. I mean, yeah, I can see that. The WBA recognized it from a mile away. They're like, hey, we got to jump on this train. I mean, where does before we get to AJ, where does Jake Paul? His jaw was broken. He had a procedure done like right after. So that's what I'm saying. Next summer, maybe. It's the earliest we see him. So he's going to be out for a little bit.
Yeah.
But what do we see next?
If Terence Crawford doesn't come back, I could see him jumping in there with Canelo.
Yeah, I think Canelo would do it.
September,
That's crazy, man.
Mexican Independence Day weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can see Jake Paul be like, yeah, we'll fight in Texas. A lot of Mexicans in Texas. Yeah,
and he'll just play off.
Being the villain.
AJ didn't knock me out. Like he broke my jaw, but he didn't knock me out. I still got up. He'll use something like that against Canelo, and then because it's like if you look at it, Canelo really doesn't have any opponents left. Like if he doesn't fight Benavidez, he's going up to cruiserweight, so that's never going to happen.
No, that's never going to happen.
Pretty much fought everybody else. Crawford's retired, so if you can't talk him into coming back,
yeah, Crawford's the only one left.
It's the biggest payday.
Yeah. If he doesn't get Crawford, he wants an event. Yeah, you go for Jake Paul.
It's kind of weirdly makes sense. Like
that's crazy, man.
Business wise.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane. That's crazy. As a resume,
I thought it was funny seeing a tweet because every so often Tom Loeffler, who's been on the show before, obviously he was on earlier this year, but was it earlier this year? Or no, he wasn't. He was on a while ago.
No, it was this year. You interviewed him by yourself, right?
Yeah, I did interview him by myself, right? Yeah. That's right. I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but he tweeted something after. He always finds a way to tweet about this at different points when there's something about fights not getting sanctioned or getting sanctioned as professional fights in certain states and stuff like that. Tom Loeffler always tweets about the time where Canelo and Triple G were going to fight, and then Canelo got popped for the clenbuterol. So that fight, was in limbo. And then they were trying to find an opponent for Triple G, and they went to they told the Nevada State Athletic Commission to approve Jaime Munguia, and they didn't want to do it because they felt he's not experienced enough to fight somebody like Triple G. Like Triple G is just too dangerous, and they didn't sanction it. And Tom Loeffler was like, and Jaime Munguia won a world championship in his next fight. I just thought it was funny because I've seen him tweet about that same scenario for other associated news in boxing over the past several years. He always comes in and tweets. He's like, that just shows that Bob Bennett of the Nevada State Athletic Commission recognized the power of Triple G, and I just thought it was so funny. It's like he always throws it in there, and it always makes me laugh because it's true. It's like that's another thing that what people were talking about here is like, okay, they talked about the state of Georgia didn't want to sanction Jake Paul versus Tank Davis as a professional bout, so then they went to Florida, and Florida was like, yeah, we'll sanction it. Then Davis pulled out, and then Anthony Joshua comes in, and then people are like, I don't know if this is still fair. Like, I don't know if this should be sanctioned. Should it have been sanctioned? What do you think? Like, would you have sanctioned it as a head of a state athletic commission? Like, just put your hat on. They come to you with this fight, Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul. How would you assess it?
I guess because you kind of knew that it was going to go like it did. Yeah, I guess I probably would have done just because I knew that it was going to do that. He was going to dance around, pot shot. Eventually, AJ was going to catch him, and either knock him out or like he did, he broke his jaw. And if people wanted to buy tickets for it and watch it, and that's up to them. I'll put it this way. How about, remember the time when Tanisha Estrada fought that girl that used to work in like a bar or something at like Fantasy Springs, and she like knocked her out?
Yeah, she knocked her out like in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's the same thing. That's probably worse.
Yeah.
And there was
that clip went viral, like beyond boxing too.
And there was that other one with Top Rank, where there was some up and coming guy for Top Rank for, I can't remember where it was, but I remember watching the fight on ESPN Plus.
I think that was Vegas.
His opponent was like some black dude, and he came towards him, but he came like towards him like he never fought. Like, he was jumping up and down like that.
I remember that.
It was that bad. There was like memes of it. It went viral.
Yeah, and I remember the commentary team was just like, oh my god, like they couldn't believe it either. You could hear it in their voice.
Yeah, and that's worse.
Yeah. I mean, this is always going to happen over time, in not just in boxing, but even just in combat sports in general, especially MMA and all that stuff. But obviously, it worked, and I'm sure AJ didn't say yes right away when Jake Paul and his team approached him to be the replacement opponent. I'm sure AJ was just like, what's the business side of it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure AJ and Eddie Hearn talked about it, and they're just like, hey, this is easy payday for you. 8 rounds. You've already been training. You stay in shape. You just have to fly from the UK to Miami. It's a lot closer. And this is going to do wonders for your image because it's on Netflix and it's going to be in prime time in the United States. I mean, give credit to Joshua after the fight. When he got out of the ring, he was mingling and like taking pictures with the fans and meeting all these all the American fans in the audience there for a long time. The camera was on him. And he was meeting the fans, and the women loved him, and like the guys were just like, "Oh, let's take a picture, AJ." Like for his, because you got to think about it. The last memory the boxing fans have of him in the United States is the Andy Ruiz fight. And when Ruiz knocked him out, he never really came back to the United States to fight again, right?
No, that was his first fight back after that.
And that was supposed to be like the entrance into the United States market for him to be like, hey, let's tap into this. Yeah. And then Andy Ruiz came in as the replacement for Jarrell Miller and foiled those plans. And AJ and Eddie Hearn were just like, you know what? Let's just stick to our bread and butter in the UK. Like, we already have a built-in audience over there. We're making a lot of money. So there's a chance that, I mean, if he fights Wilder, I can see. Do you think that happens in the UK? You think it happens over here? I mean, obviously he's going to fight Fury. That seems like it's going to happen next year, which, people have already been talking about that, and that's pretty tentatively scheduled. But if AJ fights like somebody like Wilder, he could still do some numbers, right?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be kind of risky to do that before Fury, just because he beat Jake Paul, and maybe he wasn't trying 100%, but there was some things that you'd kind of watch in him, and he looked kind of slow, a little bit methodical at times. But you don't know. I'm sure he wasn't firing on all cylinders because he knew there wasn't anything coming back at him. But how many times have we seen that they do a fight in between, and that fight in between messes up the main fight? So I think maybe just him and Tyson arrange it, put the date out, do a little press tour, and get the fight going. We've waited long enough, and what happens if he fights? Who was he supposed to fight? Cheney, right?
Yeah.
Fury fights somebody else, and they both look awful.
Yeah.
And then what? It takes a bit of the shine off what we're expecting in the summer. So yeah, just get it going. There's no need to marinate it like we always say in boxing. So
AJ probably has Fury lined up for next year. as next, right? And then Jake Paul, like we said earlier, he's going to be out for a little bit, because of his jaw being broken and having surgery and all that and just procedures. But I think he's going to also keep an eye on Canelo Crawford to see if that rematch happens. And like you said, if Crawford stays retired or he just doesn't pan out, then I think Jake Paul is going to try to swoop in with Canelo and be like, hey, you have nobody else. Like, fight me.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's so much money to turn down.
Yeah.
It'd be funny because I wouldn't think Canelo would do something like that. He just looks like such a serious guy that, like,
but like we said, like he has nobody else. He's literally he's been in boxing for so long across multiple generations of fighters, and he's fought all of them. He's fought every single one of them, pretty much.
Like 20 years. He's literally been in it for like about 20 years.
Yeah, he's literally fought like all the biggest stars of like the last like 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in the ring with them. So it's like, I know Benavidez is still there, but it's like, like the luster kind of it wore off. At least to me, it wore off. I'd rather see a Crawford rematch because, Crawford did beat him, but like it was a close fight. Like it's not like Canelo got like, I don't think he got like shut out. Like it was still a competitive, high level competitive fight, except Crawford just was edged it out.
Mm.
Like I wouldn't mind seeing the rematch. I mean, I wouldn't, But let me ask you, would you rather see Crawford Canelo 2 or Canelo Jake Paul? Just for the spectacle.
I mean, it's funny that I even need to think about it, isn't it?
No, right. That I thought about it. That's why I asked you. I was like, it's kind of intriguing.
I think Crawford, Canelo, just to see if if Canelo could come out with a different game plan and actually do something, or does Crawford beat him even more convincingly the second time?
Right.
Whereas in the Canelo Jake Paul fight, we know Canelo's going to win. It's just how.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that I don't know who else is left for Canelo. And Jake Paul too. I mean, he wants to win a title, so he's when he recovers, he's eventually going to just push towards that way because he wants to win a world title. He does. He wants to win a world title.
And the weird thing is because we know boxing is a business, I could see Beterbiev and Bivol retire. Those belts
go up for grabs,
become fragmented, and the WBA throws him in there with some freaking random dude who's managed to just suddenly appear in the top 15. And then they get 3% of this huge pie that's on Netflix. Yeah. And Jake Paul goes down as a WBA champion. It's mad, but you could see it. Like, Ryan Garcia is just getting a WBC title shot off a loss against Rolly.
Yeah, that's insane.
And a year suspension where his win over Devin Haney got overturned.
Yeah.
It's insane. Boxing is just crazy.
Yeah, it's a business at the end of the day, too. So you need stars. You need stars to carry the sport. And right now we're in need of them. We are in need of them. What do you think about the Netflix coverage? Like the broadcast coverage and the commentary team and stuff?
I thought it was better than it had been. I didn't think there was much craziness. They kind of just told you what you were seeing. There wasn't over the top at times. I mean, I didn't mind it, actually. I thought it was quite good. I mean, they kept interviewing all these celebrities, and some of them I had no idea who they were because they were like YouTube and stuff, but I'm not supposed to, I guess. But I thought it wasn't too bad. Better than some of the DAZN, when you get Mora and all those guys sometimes do too much joking around for my liking. But, I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old school. It's not my thing,
Do you think Netflix is putting a lot of, like, obviously they're putting money into the event, but do you think they're like paying majority of these purses.
I'm glad you said this, because if you look at some of the purses that are touted around, and I'm sure they're inflated a little bit.
Yeah, I just don't see Netflix. I just don't see Netflix saying like, no, we're not gonna pay that. Like, you know who we are? Like, we're the number one broadcaster in the world. Like, I just don't see them being like, oh yeah, you know, these numbers that they're throwing around. I mean, we've always known for years that the numbers are always inflated, pay-per-view numbers and purses and stuff like that. But we just learned to accept them and kind of just use them as rough estimates. But I don't see Netflix being like, oh yeah, Jake, we're going to pay you $50 million or $70 million, and AJ will pay you $40 million. Like, I just don't see Netflix doing that. I don't.
Right. Because, I mean, the numbers that I heard was 90 for Jake and 50 for AJ.
See, I don't see that. I don't see that.
Say the entire show, right? If those numbers are ballpark, the entire show, everyone who's paid production, 150 million. How many new subscribers would they have to get to cover that?
Right. Yeah.
And my buddies in the UK, my brother and all the people like that I know back home, they watched it in the morning. They didn't stay up for it. They just
because it was like in the middle of the night, right? Or the early morning or something?
It was like made of 8, so like 4 in the morning.
Yeah. I just, I don't know. I know they got paid, but like, I just don't see like, I don't see Netflix. Like, I feel like Netflix would use the leverage that they have with the platform that they have. Even for Canelo Crawford, I know they made a lot of money. But like, I could also see Netflix being like, hey, you know, so it's for example, like the Super Bowl over here in the United States for American football. When they have the halftime show, the musical artists, they say that those musical artists aren't paid to perform there. They say that how the NFL and, you know, the broadcast or whatever, how they treat it, how they pitch to the artists and say, hey, like, you're going to be in front of the most eyeballs ever, like 100 million households. Like, that's your pay. Like, there's your image. It's your PR, like your marketing. There's your payment. Like, I feel in a sense that Netflix, I mean, they'd be dumb if obviously they're not using their leverage in it, but I feel like Netflix also might be using some type of that negotiation tactic. Not saying like, hey, we're not going to pay you. You know, you can just use our platform. But it's more like, hey, yeah, we'll pay you guys. You guys will be compensated very well, but we're not going to pay you like what these other broadcasters and these other promoters have been paying you guys for all these years. Like, we're still, you guys are still going to make very good money, but you're also going to have exposure to our subscribers and our viewers. I mean, that's just me speculating, but do you kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because if those figures are right, that's a crazy amount of money that they're just throwing around for a one-off fight every now and again, because they're not in boxing. They're just doing big events every now and again to try to gather more subscribers. But me or you, like, I would tune in for the fight and then cancel my subscription. If you're just a boxing fan that doesn't already have Netflix,
right?
I don't see you just being like, it's not like there's one every month where you're like, well, I'm going to keep my subscription because they have a fight every month. But it's like they've done what, 2? The Tyson Fury, the Mike Tyson, and then the Joshua, and that's it.
Yeah.
So why would you keep
Canelo Crawford?
Oh yeah, sorry, that's right. 3. Yeah, it was on 3. So what, quarterly ish? You know, if they do a 4th one. So it's, yeah, I mean, that's a crazy amount of subscribers because Netflix is what, $15-$20 a month.
Well, I'm
150 million.
I'm looking up right now because Netflix has reported in the past how many subscribers they've had, like in quarterly earnings calls and all that. So I'm looking it up right now. So I'm just trying to like ballpark it in terms of like, okay, I know around the world it's like different prices, but I'm trying to like ballpark how much money they're bringing in. So from what I'm reading here, it says the last officially reported figure from Netflix was at the end of 2024, announced in January of 2025, and it was 301 million paid subscribers worldwide. So over 300 million paid memberships.
It's crazy.
So the revenue reports for the third quarter of 2025 had revenue of 11.5 billion, up 17% year over year.
And they're doing crazy numbers then, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think they did compensate people like Canelo, Crawford, Jake Paul, AJ, Tyson. Yes, they were very well compensated, but I don't know. I don't see Netflix like they obviously don't want to be like in boxing like full time. They just want to pay for the big events. Like, hey, no, we want mainstream appeal events. Like, we want something that like our audience is worldwide. Like, we have casual fans, we have hardcore sports fans, we have hardcore drama fans, we have hardcore comedy fans. Like, their subscription base for their customer base is a variety of people. I mean, it is. But being Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, and even Crawford and Canelo, I mean, I know TKO helped and Dana White and all that, but and then WWE has a partnership with Netflix now, which is also TKO, so that kind of helps. But at the end of the day, it's just like if Netflix told Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua like if AJ or Jake Paul was like, oh, I want to be paid 75 million, and AJ is like, oh, okay, I want 50, and Netflix is like, no, Jake will pay, we'll agree to 30 million for you, and AJ will pay you 20. Yeah, maybe they were back and forth, but at the end of the day, would those guys, Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, would they be like, hey, you know what? That's still a ton of money. That is still a ridiculous amount of money. And we're fighting in Florida, no state tax, keep more of our money in the United States. And we're going to be on Netflix. Like, the marketing behind that. I mean, because it's almost like it is a business negotiation, right? Like, both sides have to agree for them to do an event like this. It's not like DAZN and like ESPN and stuff like that when they were all fighting for these fights. It's like, oh yeah, like DAZN came in and they started overpaying these fighters because they're like, hey, we need people to come fight with us because we're brand new and we need to show them like this is how we get them on our platform. I don't know. I just think Netflix they have a lot of leverage here. I mean, just like back then it was HBO, stuff like that. Netflix has a lot of leverage.
They just bought Warner Brothers, right?
It was what?
Didn't they just buy Warner Brothers?
Yeah, so they bought, from what I saw, their press release said that they bought the studio, the Warner Brothers studio, because Warner Brothers is like, they're a big conglomerate of stuff. And I think Netflix bought the Warner Brothers studio, so the one that's here in LA, in I think Burbank. They brought like that lot where they can film all this stuff and everything. And I think they bought HBO Max, like the streaming. They bought all the shows from HBO and all that. But I don't think they bought the news. So like Warner Brothers Discovery. It's the same company. They owned like CNN, TNT, TBS. I don't think they bought that section. So I think that's still, I think Paramount is trying to buy that, or CBS or something like that. CBS, Paramount, I think it's the same company. But yeah, I mean, Netflix is just becoming a monster, man. It is. They're becoming a monster. You know? Like, eventually it's just kind of like, hey, like, you know, they're the only game in town. I mean, I get it. You know, that's just business. That's just business. Let's move on. We spent about 40 minutes on that topic. Just on that. Man, that just shows you, man. Jake Paul's a star.
Yeah, right.
He's the guy now, man. He's the guy. This upcoming Saturday, the 27th of December, from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, on DAZN, the monster Naoya Inoue, 31-0, goes up against David Picasso, 32-0-1, for the undisputed Super Bantamweight world titles of the world. Well, I said world twice there. So, is this the first or second time that Inoue's fought in Riyadh? This is the second time, isn't it?
Ooh, I think second time.
Right?
I think so, yeah.
Because I feel like he did fight there before already. This is the second time. I mean, obviously, Turkey Al-Sheikh and, Public Investment Fund over there in Saudi Arabia, made their sales pitch to the monster, and he, made a partnership there. So, what do you think about this fight? Should we expect another monster? I mean, he always fights at the end of each year. This is kind of like his calling card. Should we expect another knockout performance from him? What do you think?
Yeah, yes, I think so. I think Picasso is unfortunately not on the same level as Inoue, but not many people.
He's got a good record. He's got an almost identical record.
Yeah, which is good, which makes him look like obviously outstanding on paper. But I think that this is more of a showcase. You've got Junto Nakatani moving up to Super Bantamweight. If everything goes as planned, Nakatani will win, Inoue will win, and rumor has it they're going to do a super fight in
You think
May.
they'll face off? Because Nakatani is in the co-main event, right? Against Sebastian Hernandez Sebastian Hernandez Reyes on the same card this Saturday.
Maybe, but it'll be in Japanese. I'm sure if they do that, it'll be super respectful, right? You don't see them doing the Yeah, you don't see them doing the type of stuff you see in the US and the UK, where I don't see Inoue throwing a table like Derek Chisora style at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what we've all been hoping for. Nakatani, what is he, 3-weight world champion? Inoue, multiple weight world champion. Both.
That is a fun fight. I mean, it's Inoue is just such a dominant monster. Play on words with his nickname there, but Nakatani's been fighting, like you said, multiple weight world champion. Put those guys together next year. That's an intriguing fight too. Yeah. I mean, I know we've talked about this before, but that's why, everybody talks about their mythical pound for pound. Inoue has consistently for years has been fighting in higher weight classes, going up and literally fighting the best guys in every weight class, and then becoming undisputed and knocking these guys out. Am I wrong to still see him as the best pound for pound fighter in the world?
It's always one of those ones where it's like him and Bam and those guys is we kind of forget about them, and then when they fight, they're always so good, and the knockouts are always so great to watch that we bump them back up. I'm sure after next week we'll all be like, you know what, Inoue's number one pound for pound.
Yeah.
And then boom, start of next year, somebody will fight, and then we'll be like, oh my God, he's the number. It's always what have you done for me lately type of thing, unfortunately.
Yeah. But Inoue is the thing you can't dispute about Inoue, which you could dispute about somebody like Terrence Crawford and stuff like that, is Inoue's been consistently active for several years.
Yeah.
Consistently active.
And he's your favorite fighter's favorite fighter.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen, I think it's Ellie Seckbach has a video where he interviews Gervonta Davis, and Gervonta Davis starts talking about Inoue, and he stands up and starts going about what he does, and you can see that he's just so so passionate about how good Inoue is and how he does all of the basics so well.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you, when you've got like our favorite fighters love him, that just shows how good he is.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like he's a superstar. He's like literally a superstar in Japan, which is great for him. But I think, it's just like anything. Like, if you don't have a fighter who's based in the United States or is fighting in the United States or Mexican or Mexico or over here, North America, essentially, it's difficult for the fan base over here to keep up with those fights and crown that fighter as the best pound for pound fighter in the world. And also, he fights in the middle of the night because he fights in Japan a lot. But he's been undisputed champion in multiple weight classes. He's always fighting the best fighters in the world in those lower weight classes. Like, he's been moving up for years, and he's knocking these guys out. Like, he really is. He's a monster. He really is.
He's kind of like a modern day like Chocolatito.
Yeah.
Because the lower weight category and all that he used to do. But anyway, probably gets a little bit more seen because of the fact of the zone and social media is a lot more prevalent now, where Chocolatito was doing kind of a lot of this stuff back in the day, but no one knew who he was, apart from like obviously Dougie Fisher would always go on about how good he was.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good comparison right there, yeah. I mean,
if he was a welterweight and he was American, oh
yeah. But even if he was a welterweight, being Japanese, like, he would have been around all these American welterweights, and like they would have had to fight each other. Yeah, man. Like you said, like if he beats Picasso this weekend and especially knocks him out, so you said recent memory. What do they call it? Recency bias. People are going to be like, "Oh yeah, he's number one pound for pound." Yeah,
but Picasso's not a very Mexican name.
Well, I think about you. I mean, you think about, obviously the first thing that comes to mind is the famous artist, right? The painter, Pablo Picasso. Wasn't that guy? Wasn't he? What was he? He was. Was it Italian?
I think Italian, yeah. Spanish?
Yeah. Oh, close enough. Maybe this guy's related to him. Like a lineage right there or something, right?
You'd hope so, right?
So our prediction here is that Inoue gets the win over Picasso and Nakatani gets the win over Hernandez Reyes this weekend, and they both win, and then they lead up to a fight against each other next year.
I mean, I think that's what everybody wants. I know Picasso has a good resume, hasn't really got many big names on there. I think Azat Hovhannissian is probably the biggest name that we know. He's got around about a 50% knockout ratio. So I don't think he's packing the sort of power which is going to back up someone like Inoue.
Right.
I think Inoue probably takes a couple of rounds, works him out, lets his power dip a little bit, and then I think he'll probably come in, stay in range, because Picasso is pretty tall and pretty rangy for that division. But like I said, doesn't pack a huge punch. So I think Inoue will probably stay away until his power drops a little bit. Then he'll stay in range, up close, personal, and I think he'll take him out round 6 or 7.
Yeah, mid-rounds. News and notes section of this week's episode of the Last Round Boxing Podcast. This is very interesting, but let's see where this goes, because we've seen this before with sanctioning bodies. But the WBO has ordered Hamzah Sheeraz, 22-0-1 with 18 KOs, to fight Diego Pacheco, 25-0 with 18 KOs for the vacant WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the world. Obviously, this was a title that was just vacated by Terrence Crawford after he announced his retirement. So all those titles just got vacated. So they're up for grabs right now, technically. I think this. I mean, do you think this happens? Do you think Eddie Hearn, Matchroom let Pacheco fight Sheeraz?
I mean, I hope they do. I think it's an outstanding fight.
I like this fight a lot. This is definitely one of those for those hardcore fans.
Two tall, rangy, big power punchers. Obviously, Sheeraz, Frank Warren. Pacheco, like you said, Eddie Hearn, Matchroom. To be honest with you, I think it may go ahead, and I think because Turkey probably likes Hamzah Sheeraz because of his Middle Eastern lineage.
Yeah,
and,
but he's a good fighter, though.
Oh, unbelievable fighter! I mean, he had that small. Who did he fight? Was it a draw?
Yeah, he had a draw.
Adames, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That little small, kind of blemish where I think he broke his hand early in the fight, but after that, he's turned around and done well. But like we said last time, after the Pacheco fight, Matchroom seems to have been moving him so slowly. It's and then this is a big step up for him. But I mean, I hope they do. I think it's an unbelievable fight. I'd love to be ringside for that.
Well, Jamal Herring, our guest last week, did say he's like, he thinks Pacheco should be back in, into the. Should be moved up into the contending fight now. Like it's like he's there. Like
100%.
This could be it, right?
Yeah, I mean, and if you're Sheeraz and Frank Warren, I'm sure they back Hamzah Sheeraz anyway. But Pacheco didn't look good in that fight against Sajid. He didn't look good against him. Got knocked down, if you remember. But it did mean, if you remember, after the fight, Pacheco did call out Jaime Munguia. And then, previously he's also, been calling out Edgar Berlanga.
Yeah.
So, is he going to look at one of those instead of looking at Sheeraz?
I mean, a Pacheco Munguia fight would actually be a fun fight too.
Yeah, I mean, both of them. Any Pacheco Berlanga, Pacheco.
Yeah.
Munguia,
I think
Pacheco,
I would be
Sheeraz.
more intrigued to watch Pacheco Munguia than Pacheco Berlanga, but I just think it'd be a funner fight.
Munguia is still Golden Boy, right?
Well, didn't he fight with Top Rank after?
Oh, that's right. No, he did. Yeah,
he fought with Top Rank, right?
Yeah, he did.
So I don't know if that's still maybe like he still has a deal there, even though they don't have a TV deal, or I mean, he fought with Top Rank.
And then Berlanga, has he done his 3 fights with Matchroom? Because I think he had a starter fight, the Canelo fight, and then a comeback fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a couple fights. I mean, either way, I think Pacheco and Sheeraz are, now that all these titles are kind of up for grabs, you got Munguia there, Sheeraz, Pacheco, Berlanga. It's going to be fun to see because all these managers and promoters of all these fighters who are within striking distance of these titles are talking to all these sanctioning bodies right now that Crawford just vacated all of them. They're like, hey, let's make this happen. How do we make this happen? No, my guy, they're all talking behind the scenes. They're all talking behind the scenes trying to get their guy a title shot.
It's going to be some envelopes. Are we allowed to say that? Little brown envelopes on people's
check this out. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Here's a Christmas gift for you and the family.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But before we finish up here, there's some big fights that are tentatively scheduled right now. Let's see if they happen, but for 2026. So January 24th, 2026, Raymond Morataya versus Andy Cruz for the IBF World Lightweight Championship at the Fountain Blue in Las Vegas. So that is a very fun fight.
Me and you were split on that, weren't we? Last time we talked about it.
I think we were, yeah.
My money was. I think Cruz is all wrong for him.
Yeah, I think it's a fun fight, man. I think
lots of styles.
Morataya is still I'm telling you, we've seen this before. he trains with Robert Garcia.
Yeah.
I mean,
him and his brother that was a teacher. I wouldn't want to mess with him. I'd get my homework done if he was my teacher.
Was it? That's crazy.
It's either him or his brother, but that was one of them was a teacher.
That's insane. That's a fun fight. That's a very fun fight. And if that happens on the 24th, hopefully as we've seen, I'm glad it's right at the beginning of the year because that's like a month away. That's like a month away. So that's a very fun fight. I wouldn't even, man, I'd probably make the trip for that. Las Vegas. January 31st, so a week later after that, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson. I really hope that's a fun fight. But honestly, I'm not expecting much.
No.
I'm not. Well, I mean, they're both great fighters. They are. And Lopez always seems to show up when he fights high-level competition. But Stevenson's such a great technical boxer that he ends up just getting these guys frustrated and he just outboxes them and there's no action. So I'm glad they're both fighting, two big names, but I'm trying to tailor my expectations here. For next week or the next show we do, whether it's the beginning of the year or not, but I'd want to see how the ticket sales are doing because this is Madison Square Garden proper. The big arena, which is like 18 to 20,000 seats.
And so, T.O.'s New York / Florida, but Shakur's like, is that
Jersey? Isn't he Jersey?
Who? Shakur?
Isn't he New Jersey?
Oh, is he?
Isn't
New
he?
Jersey, but he lived in Vegas, didn't he, for a bit?
Oh, yeah. I thought he was Jersey. Maybe.
Okay, what if they're both from that area? Then both of them might do decent.
I mean, it could work. Is he Jersey or am I thinking of something else? I feel like he is New Jersey. I think.
You think it sells out?
Honestly, I am not sure, man.
You're right. Newark, New Jersey, yeah.
Newark, New Jersey. Yeah, I knew it. I mean, the big arena is big. Like, I thought when they announced it, I was like, oh, it's going to be the theater. But no, they're going for the big arena. So
20 to 22,000.
Yeah,
depending on how they do it.
Yeah. I could see 18 to 20,000. 20,000, 18, 19. Yeah, let's see how they do it. But I'll watch that fight, but I'm trying to tailor my expectations. Just like, let's see what happens. But I am glad that they're both fighting each other. And if they could sell out MSG, that's great for boxing, great for them. So, yeah, that's a little bit over a month away. So 2 good fights at the end of January. That's exciting. And then February 7th, Nick Ball versus Brandon Figueroa for the WBA Featherweight Championship at the Echo Arena in Liverpool.
I'm looking forward to that one.
That's fun, man. That's fun.
And that's always an interesting fight.
That's a week after. Teofimo and Shakur.
Good luck to
you. Got 3 weekends. 3 weekends of these back-to-back fights.
That's good. Like it's a quiet period, isn't it? Christmas and after Christmas.
Yeah. So this is. You got to give it to them, man. That's a big start to the year for boxing. Those are all fun fights, very fun fights.
DAZN. What was the first one again?
Murataya, Andy Cruz. That's DAZN.
All of them, yeah.
They're all DAZN. Yeah. And then February 28th, Emmanuel Navarrete versus Eduardo Nunez for the IBF and WBO Super Featherweight Championship of the world, both in Glendale, Arizona. So,
I love watching Navarrete.
Oh yeah, he's a. What do you call? Did we have a nickname for him once? We've talked about him in the past.
Where he's just like Terminator, and he just comes forward, just keeps going.
It was something like that. Yeah, I was trying to think. I was like, we called him something once. What was it?
He's like a juggernaut, like kind of like a small version of Joe Joyce, isn't he?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. That's first 2 months of the year. We have 4 pretty significant fights, like fun fights with like very high level fighters here. So this is fun, man. This is fun.
World Championship fights, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The last one being unified. unified titles, IBF and WBO, then the WBA, WBO, IBF. So yeah, these are fun. Yeah, these are fun fights, man. Right at the beginning. But once again, guys, we appreciate you guys listening to this week's episode of the Last Round Boxing Podcast. This is a holiday week here in the United States, and obviously in a lot of different places around the world, the UK and all that. So we might not have an episode next week, just because, you know, dedicating time to family, friends, and all that stuff. You know, we're still discussing it, but if not, we might come back at the beginning of next year, kind of, because we're still doing. Are we still gonna do the Christmas quiz that we usually do the last couple of years? You still want to do that?
Yeah, probably first week of January. Let everyone kind of get the Christmas out of the way, and then do it.
That might work. Yeah. Maybe we can get some people on here. We know Al Dawson said he'd like to come on, so we can get some. You know, he can battle against somebody. That'd be fun to see, and we can be like the mediators or the referees or something like that. So we can check it out. But happy holidays to all of our listeners. To however many of you guys are listening right now, whether this is your first time listening or you've been with us since the beginning or you started in the middle. Whenever you started, we appreciate you being along for this ride. And happy holidays to you guys and yours once again. Before we sign off again, Mike, go ahead and let them know where they can find us and follow us.
At The Last Round 12 on Instagram and Twitter. And be sure to join us after the holidays for the quiz. So for once again, for my co-host, Michael Shepard, I'm Danny Z. This is The Last Round.
Thanks for supporting and listening to the show. Follow us at The Last Round 12 on social media. Rate, review, and subscribe. This is The Last Round.